The world has been invaded by an evil being. Dr. Hate has been working with Waller to basically turn Garo into a mindless Starro being, conquering the world so that they can be the ones to stop Gar and make it look good. It resulted in Nightwing going into a face-off against Waller and Peacemaker, and in that battle he took control of the military, which was already bad enough, but then we discovered Dr. Hate was actually Evil Raven freed from the gem on her head. This is Comicstorian. I take comic books, turn them into audio dramas. This is so that you know what's going on in the world of comics and what to keep up with. If you enjoy this type of content and want to support us, please consider checking out our Patreon or our YouTube memberships. Now we go into Beast World, Issue 6. Peacemaker finally awakens to find a dark world. "I can't see anything!" he shouts in fear, but realizes that his helmet is actually just backwards from the battle against Nightwing. "Oh," he says as he fixes it, griping that superheroes are knocking everyone unconscious, and that there is plenty of research that shows that causes post-traumatic brain injuries. But then he finally decides to look around and finds the black smoke swirling around the room as the two Ravens are facing off against each other. "What the hell is this?" he whispers to Waller, who holds up a hand, ordering him not to move. Raven can't believe that her dark half is free. The demonic Raven pulls the helmet of chaos down, reminding Raven that she fought against a ruler of hell, one that warned her that a piece of her was actually missing. "You didn't listen! You've been around these people for so long that you've convinced yourself that you're as insignificant as a human, and now I am free to be what we were always supposed to be!" Dr. Hate says, raising her hand preparing to attack. Raven throws up a shield, turning back to her friends. She warns Nightwing that she can't protect him and fight herself. "I have to send you away!" she calls out to Nightwing as she opens up a portal to suck him in. "Save the infected! Don't send anyone to me! No one can help!" she shouts as he disappears, with Dr. Hate launching forward, slamming into her. "You're right! No one can save you!" Nightwing drops back into the tower in front of a surprised Batgirl and Boba the Chimp. He quickly fills them in on the surprise turn of events. "Voila!" Boba says, and Nightwing shakes his head with Bobo nodding, looking up at the hero. "You said you had a plan that could work or makes things much worse. Are you ready to share?" The chimp asks, and Nightwing nods. "I need Superman." A short time later, John is standing before the cage that holds Wolf Batman. He looks at Nightwing, ordering him to open the cage, and the wolf leaps forward to attack. But John grabs a hold of him, putting a burst of electricity through the wolf's body. Sensing the more powerful hero, the spore leaps from Batman's mouth. Before John can destroy, an already transformed Bruce reaches out, grabbing it, slamming it into the ground. But Bruce is weak and collapses into Nightwing's arms. "Did I hurt you?" he gasps. Nightwing smiles, shaking his head. "I'm fine. What's a light mauling between families?" Bruce nods his head slowly. "What's the plan?" Nightwing quickly informs Bruce that they're going to bring back all of the infected, but they're going to need help. Food, shelter, reuniting the loved ones. Bruce nods again. "I'll work with Oracle to coordinate aid agencies and street-level heroes." Later, the strongest heroes on Earth are gathering at Titan's Tower, and Bobo details the plan. Waller has already begun corralling the beasts. The strongest heroes will act as bait and allow the spores to leave their hosts and attack. Allow the heroes to quickly destroy them. Cyborg looks at Barbara. "I've just seriously overstepped and I've ticked off a lot of global military powers. What if they attack us on sight?" "That's a very valid concern," Barbara responds. And what Nightwing and Donna are working on as we speak. Back at the White House, the president looks up in surprise as Nightwing steps out of the shadows. Frightened, he demands to know what the young hero is doing. "Please, don't be alarmed, Mr. President. I don't have time to go through the proper channels." He quickly explains that Amanda Waller has been using the whole situation as a grab for power, dehumanizing the infected to stoke the growing fears of the population. "Yeah, but your people just hijacked the US military. How do you expect me to trust you?" the President asks, and Nightwing agrees, reaching up for his mask. "I understand my colleagues have done things differently in the past, but we need to trust one another," Nightwing says as he's about to reveal his identity, but the president stops him. He appreciates the gesture, but he knows the truth could be dangerous for the both of them. Their conversation is then interrupted when Dick gets word from Donna that the First Lady has been cured of the infection and is human once more. "Thank you," the president says with a sigh of relief. Nightwing holds out a hand. "We can do this for every one of the infected. No one else has to die, but we need to work together." The president shakes his hand and asks what he can do. Nightwing asks that the president contact the various world leaders and ask their militaries to stand down when the heroes arrive. We'll do the rest. Back over in Gotham, the Bureau hasn't gotten word yet. Sergeant Steele orders his men to open fire, but John is there before the tank rounds can hit the beast. He drops the round to the ground and turns on the beast, electricity sparking around his body as blue Superman powers begin to manifest. The spores leap for the stronger host, but are destroyed in the process. Back at the tower, Nightwing and Cyborg reveal power armor to Donna, something that is strong enough to fight against even an infected Kryptonian. You'll be impervious to the spores and living nightmare to the Kryptonians and the Tamaranians. In Metropolis, Superman and Supergirl are preparing to fight the transformed Power Girl, but Oracle comes over the radio ordering them to stand down. We have the situation handled, she tells them. The Kryptonians watch in surprise as Power Girl is knocked clean out of the sky. Donna in her new armor stands over the hero, using her lasso to compel the spore to leave her body. Elsewhere in the world, Dr. Hate slams Raven into the ground, floating over her. There is no use struggling, Hate says as her dark magic is pinning Raven to the ground. The beast close in on the magical woman. The spot of the creature that you loved will end you now! Hate laughs at her, but the beasts, they don't attack. They merely stare at Raven, and that's when Dr. Hate realizes the truth. Could it be that part of Beast Boy's consciousness has spread across the spores? She ponders, but then she laughs, realizing that that means that with each spore killed, Raven's friends are actually killing the only part of Gar that remains. Across the world, the heroes are busy destroying the spores, until Raven's voice screams in their heads, "Stop! Gar is in the spores!" She shouts out, and all of the heroes suddenly look down in horror and realize that they have been slowly killing Beast Boy. At the tower, Nightwing gets on the comms, ordering everyone to lure and contain the spores only. Cyborg steps forward, powering up his boom tubes. "Tell them all that I'm coming, and then evacuate the building." Vic says to Nightwing and Batgirl. Back in Metropolis, John is asking what he should do as a swarm of spores are chasing him. That's when a boom tube opens up and swallows them all up, sending them into Titan's tower. Across the world, Cyborg is opening up boom tubes, sending all the remaining spores back to Titan's tower. But back at the main fight, Raven looks at Dr. Hate, telling her evil side that she has failed. "My friends are out there, saving everyone. Friends and family are being reunited. We're saving the people that Waller would have murdered," she says, but Dr. Hate flies forward, grabbing her by the throat. "Oh, Rachel, it's still time for murder," she says. But Starfire is there, hitting Dr. Hate with a blast of energy. "Get off of her," she bellows as she slams into Hate, headbutting her hard. She reaches up, grabbing a hold of the Helm of Chaos and blasts it away. Dr. Hate roars in anger and pain, dark energy swirling around, grabbing a hold of the Temerian princess. As acts of defiance go, that was a particularly worthless one. I will take my helmet back now, she says, but that's when Wally West is there, scooping it up before the dark smoke can even grab it. Yoink! He says with a smile as he begins to race away, the Speed Force cracking around him as he races with the helmet. He can hear the voices within ordering him to take the helmet, to sow chaos on the world. Yeah, no thanks, he says as he stomps at the edge of a volcano, dropping the magical helmet inside. I've seen enough movies to know how this ends. Bye, Chaos Lords, he shouts as he runs away, their voices quickly fading as they melt away in the lava of the volcano. Back at the fight, Dr. Hate is roaring in anger, her face taking on a more demonic appearance as she prepares to rip Starfire apart. "No, you will never harm my friends again," Raven shouts as she hits her twin with a blast of magic, opening up another portal, asking Starfire to leave. With the Lords of Chaos gone, I can take it from here, she tells her friend, but Starfire wants to fight beside her and defeat Dr. Hate. But Raven waves her through the portal. "You already have, Corey. You've given me all I needed. A fair fight." She then whirls on her demonic side, holding up a gem that acted as the prison for the evil Raven. "Whatever you hope to achieve, I'm the one in control here, and it is time for you to return to your containment," Raven shouts. But Dr. Hate rushes at her, dark magic swirling around as the two are locked in combat again. "I will not be held again," Hate bellows. But alone, the two forms of Raven begin their final battle. Later, at Titan's tower, the Titans have gathered outside. So because enough of Gar was in the spores, the beast didn't attack Raven? Cyborg asks, looking at Flash. Did he attack you? Wally nods, and they both agree that their feelings are hurt. Behind them, a portal opens and Raven returns, informing the team that her demonic side has been defeated. She is contained once more, she says as the gem glows on her forehead. Batgirl holds up a tablet showing the team that the spores have begun to reform into the body of Gar. They're coming back together. Gar's back, Barbara says with a smile, but as the group floats up to the window to look inside, they see that while Gar's body is back, there wasn't enough of the spores to reform his mind. He stares at them blankly. He's not in there. I can feel glimpses of him, like half-recalled memories, Raven says, revealing quietly as she reads her love's mind. She floats back to the ground. Too much of him was destroyed. Elsewhere, it's the next morning. The reporters are gathering around Amanda Waller as she gives a prepared statement, informing the public that the heroes have gone too far, that all of this is because of their actions, that they have acted with impunity for far too long, and that the Bureau of Sovereignty will begin the process of taking back control of the planet. We start here, by taking back a symbol, by taking back a seat of power, she says, motioning to the building behind them, the building that was once the Hall of Justice. This is now the Hall of Order, she declares, showing it taken over by the government. Back at the tower, the Titans mourn the loss of their friend, but Bobo has an idea and goes to Cyborg. May I have a word in private? It's about what I heard happened with Beast Boy and the Necrostar. It could be important. After a brief conversation, Cyborg goes to the rest of the group, telling them that they may have an idea. He looks to Raven and he asks her to bring Gar to the Sahara Desert. We're gonna need space, and we're gonna need heat. He looks at the Kryptonians, Donna and Corey, telling them that he needs them in space. A short time later, a boom tube opens up, and the powerful heroes gently lower a frozen tentacle that had fallen off of Garo when he attacked. As the heroes lower the massive tentacle to the earth, Wally looks up in shock. What the hell, Cyborg? And that's when the heroes get to work defrosting the massive appendage. Bobo steps up to Nightwing. I was thinking, sea stars can regenerate from a single arm, but are the only known creature to regenerate neurons, the chimp says quietly. Next, Donna steps up and wraps her lasso around the massive tentacle, willing whatever remains of Gar to return to his human form. The heroes watch as the tentacle begins to reform with its host body, becoming one with the mindless form of Gar. He screams in pain, collapsing to the ground. But when he opens his eyes, he smiles at Raven. Ray? What happened? He asks softly. She smiles, tears in her eyes as she rushes to Gar. You did it, she tells him softly. The heroes gather around their friend, alive once more. We won, Raven tells the man that she loves. But darkness surrounds the gem, and a voice calls out weakly. It asks her friends for help, hoping that someone, anyone, can hear her. But they can't. The demonic form of Raven smiles as she holds up the gem that contains the good form of Raven, the one who lost the final battle. Shh, I'm the only one that can hear you. Your friends don't even know that you're gone, Rachel. The demon smiles with an evil smile. But they'll know soon. And that concludes Beast World, with actually quite a bit of ramifications going on. The government is turning against the Titans, who are currently in charge of the superhero movement on the planet Earth. Waller's gained more power than ever. Peacemaker is still clueless. Evil Raven is now in charge of the body of Raven. And I'm sure there's more ramifications going on in the tie-ins, which we will be covering a couple of the important ones right here at the Comicstorian channel. So make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time right here.